The lab results came back, and Sarah's world crumbled. After months of fatigue, brain fog, and mysterious swelling around her ankles, the doctor delivered the devastating news. Her kidneys were failing. At just 34 years old, this marathon runner and health enthusiast was facing dialysis. But here's what shocked everyone, including her nephrologist. Sarah had been religiously following every health guru's advice for the past 3 years. She drank green smoothies every morning, avoided processed foods like the plague, and had completely transformed her diet. She was doing everything right, or so she thought. What Sarah didn't know was that one supposedly healthy food she consumed daily was slowly poisoning her kidneys. This food is recommended by nutritionists, praised by fitness influencers, and sits proudly in the health food aisle of every grocery store. It's marketed as a superfood, a protein powerhouse, and the perfect addition to any clean eating plan. Millions of Americans consume it daily, believing they're making the healthiest choice possible. But buried deep in the scientific literature, hidden from mainstream health conversations, lies a terrifying truth about this so-called superfood. Your kidneys are working overtime right now, and they're sending you warning signals you're probably ignoring. That slight puffiness in your face when you wake up, the occasional lower backache, the unexplained fatigue that hits you in the afternoon. These aren't just signs of stress or aging. They could be your kidneys crying for help, struggling to process something you're feeding them every single day. What if everything you thought you knew about healthy eating was wrong? What if the food industry, with all its clever marketing and health claims, had convinced you to slowly destroy your most vital organs? The kidney damage happening right now in millions of Americans isn't from obvious culprits like processed junk food or excessive salt. It's from something far more insidious, something hiding in plain sight in your refrigerator, something you probably ate yesterday and will eat again today. The truth about this kidney-destroying superfood will change everything you thought you knew about nutrition. It will make you question every health recommendation you've ever followed and every expert you've ever trusted. But more importantly, it might just save your life. Because once you understand what's really happening inside your body when you consume this food, you'll never look at your plate the same way again. Right now, as you're reading this, your kidneys are filtering about 50 gallons of blood every single day. Think of them as two incredibly sophisticated water treatment plants working 24/7 to keep your blood clean and your body in perfect chemical balance. These remarkable organs don't just remove waste. They regulate your blood pressure, produce hormones, and maintain the delicate pH balance that keeps you alive. But when something goes wrong with this filtration system, the consequences are catastrophic. Inside your kidneys are millions of tiny filtering units called nephrons. Picture them as microscopic coffee filters, each one designed to let the good stuff through while trapping the waste. When these filters become damaged or clogged, your body starts drowning in its own toxins. The process is silent, insidious, and often irreversible by the time you notice symptoms. Here's where it gets terrifying. Unlike other organs that can regenerate, your kidneys have limited ability to repair themselves. Each nephron that dies is gone forever. It's like having a water treatment plant where the filters keep breaking down, but you can never replace them. Eventually, the whole system collapses, and you're left dependent on a machine to do what your kidneys once did effortlessly. The food that's causing this destruction works through a mechanism that most people, including many doctors, don't fully understand. It creates a perfect storm of inflammation, oxidative stress, and metabolic chaos that slowly but surely destroys your kidney tissue. The damage accumulates over years, decades even, which is why so many people are blindsided when they finally get their diagnosis. Think of it like termites eating away at the foundation of your house. You don't notice anything wrong until one day the floor caves in. That's exactly what's happening to millions of kidneys right now. And the termites are something you've been told is good for you. The scariest part? By the time most people discover the damage, they've already lost 75% of their kidney function. If you're like most health-conscious Americans, you're making these kidney-destroying mistakes without even knowing it. And I want to help you understand why these seemingly innocent habits are so dangerous, because the science behind them will shock you. Mistake number 1 is timing. You're consuming this problematic food at the worst possible time for your kidneys. Most people eat it first thing in the morning when their bodies are already in a state of dehydration from the overnight fast. Your kidneys are working harder than ever to concentrate your urine and conserve water, and then you flood your system with something that requires massive amounts of energy and water to process. It's like forcing someone to run a marathon when they're already exhausted. Mistake number 2 is portion size. The recommended serving size on the package is a lie, and here's why. These recommendations are based on healthy individuals with perfect kidney function. But if you've been consuming this food regularly, your kidneys are already compromised, even if your blood tests still look normal. What's considered a healthy portion for someone with pristine kidneys becomes a toxic overload for someone whose filtration system is already struggling. Mistake number 3 is combination. You're eating this food with other supposedly healthy foods that create a dangerous synergistic effect. When combined with certain vitamins, minerals, or other proteins, this food becomes exponentially more harmful to your kidneys. It's like mixing cleaning chemicals that are safe individually, but create toxic fumes when combined. Mistake number 4 is frequency. You've been told that consistency is key to healthy eating, so you consume this food daily, sometimes multiple times per day. But your kidneys need recovery time. They need periods of rest to repair and regenerate. By constantly bombarding them with this problematic food, you're preventing them from healing and forcing them into a state of chronic inflammation. The most shocking mistake is trusting the health claims on the packaging. The marketing for this food focuses on its benefits for muscles, heart health, and weight loss. But nowhere do they mention the devastating impact on kidney function, because kidney damage takes years to show up in standard blood tests. By the time your creatinine levels are elevated, the damage is already severe and often irreversible. To understand why this food is so dangerous, you need to understand what happens inside your kidneys when you consume it. Picture your kidneys as 2 incredibly busy airports with millions of passengers, molecules, trying to get through security, the filtration system, every single day. Under normal circumstances, this system runs smoothly. The good passengers get through quickly, while the troublemakers are detained and removed. But when you consume this problematic food, it's like sending a massive crowd of unruly passengers to the airport all at once. These passengers don't have proper identification, they're carrying suspicious luggage, and they're all trying to push through security simultaneously. The system becomes overwhelmed, backup lines form, and chaos ensues. At the molecular level, this food breaks down into compounds that your kidneys struggle to process. These compounds are too large, too complex, or too chemically reactive for your filtration system to handle efficiently. As your kidneys work overtime trying to deal with this molecular chaos, they begin to sustain damage. The delicate filtering membranes start to break down, inflammation sets in, and scar tissue begins to form. Think of it like forcing sand through a silk cloth over and over again. Eventually, the cloth develops holes, becomes rough and damaged, and loses its ability to filter effectively. That's exactly what's happening to your kidney tissue every time you consume this food. The damage is cumulative, progressive, and largely irreversible. What makes this process so insidious is that your kidneys have an enormous reserve capacity. You can lose up to 75% of your kidney function before you notice any symptoms. It's like having a bank account with $1 million. You can spend freely for years before you realize you're approaching bankruptcy. By the time you feel tired, notice swelling, or see changes in your urine, the damage is already severe. The inflammatory cascade triggered by this food doesn't just affect your kidneys. It creates a domino effect throughout your entire body, accelerating aging, increasing your risk of cardiovascular disease, and compromising your immune system. Your kidneys are trying to protect you, but in the process, they're sacrificing themselves. Now here's the revelation that will change everything you thought you knew about healthy eating. The food that's been slowly destroying kidneys across America is quinoa. Yes, quinoa, the so-called superfood that's been hailed as the perfect protein, the gluten-free grain alternative, the foundation of every health-conscious diet. But quinoa contains compounds called saponins and oxalates that can wreak havoc on your kidneys when consumed regularly in the quantities that most health enthusiasts consume. Here's why almost nobody talks about this. The quinoa industry is worth billions of dollars, and it's built on the foundation of quinoa being a health food. The studies showing kidney damage from quinoa consumption exist, but they're buried in obscure nephrology journals that most people, including many doctors, never read. The symptoms take years to develop, so the connection between quinoa consumption and kidney damage is rarely made. Saponins are natural compounds that quinoa plants produce to protect themselves from insects and animals. When you eat quinoa, these saponins act like tiny detergents in your digestive system, breaking down cell membranes and creating inflammation throughout your body. Your kidneys, which are constantly filtering your blood, are exposed to these inflammatory compounds 24/7. Over time, this chronic inflammation destroys the delicate filtering structures in your kidneys, but saponins are just part of the problem. Quinoa is also extremely high in oxalates, compounds that can form crystals in your kidneys and urinary tract. When you consume quinoa regularly, especially in the large portions recommended by health gurus, you're flooding your system with oxalates. Your kidneys become overwhelmed trying to process these compounds, and crystals begin to form in your kidney tissue, causing inflammation, scarring, and progressive damage. The modern quinoa obsession has created a perfect storm. People are consuming quinoa daily, often multiple times per day, in smoothies, salads, as a rice substitute, and in countless processed health foods. They're getting doses of saponins and oxalates that far exceed what the human body was ever designed to handle. And because quinoa is marketed as a superfood, people assume that more is better, not realizing they're slowly poisoning their kidneys. The most tragic part? The people most likely to suffer quinoa-induced kidney damage are the health-conscious individuals who are trying to do everything right. They've eliminated processed foods, they exercise regularly, they drink plenty of water, and they've made quinoa a staple of their clean eating lifestyle. They would never suspect that their kidney problems are coming from something they've been told is one of the healthiest foods on the planet. So what actually works to protect your kidneys while still maintaining a healthy diet? The solution isn't to avoid all plant-based proteins or to go back to eating processed junk food. It's about understanding how to nourish your body without overwhelming your kidneys' filtration system. First, you need to drastically reduce or eliminate quinoa from your diet. I know this goes against everything you've been told, but your kidneys will thank you. If you absolutely must include quinoa occasionally, limit it to no more than once per week, and always rinse it thoroughly multiple times before cooking to remove as many saponins as possible. Replace quinoa with truly kidney-friendly alternatives like white rice, properly prepared oats, or small amounts of wild-caught fish. White rice gets a bad reputation, but it's actually one of the easiest grains for your kidneys to process. It's low in oxalates, contains no saponins, and provides clean energy without the inflammatory compounds found in quinoa. Focus on hydration, but do it strategically. Your kidneys need adequate water to function properly, but drinking too much water can actually stress your kidneys if they're already damaged. Aim for clear, pale yellow urine, and spread your water intake throughout the day rather than chugging large amounts at once. Include kidney-supportive foods like organic berries, which are low in oxalates but high in antioxidants that help repair kidney damage. Cucumbers and watermelon provide gentle hydration and help flush toxins without stressing your filtration system. Small amounts of high-quality animal protein, if you choose to include it, are much easier for your kidneys to process than the complex plant proteins found in quinoa. Time your meals strategically. Give your kidneys a break by having your last meal at least 3 hours before bed, allowing them to focus on repair and regeneration while you sleep. Consider intermittent fasting or extended periods between meals to give your kidneys time to recover from the constant work of filtration. Most importantly, listen to your body. If you experience any kidney-related symptoms like lower back pain, changes in urination, swelling, or unexplained fatigue, take them seriously and get proper kidney function tests, not just the basic blood work that most doctors order. Let me tell you about Michael, a 42-year-old personal trainer who lived and breathed the clean eating lifestyle. For 5 years, Michael had been the poster child for healthy living. He meal prepped quinoa bowls every Sunday, drank green smoothies with quinoa protein powder every morning, and recommended quinoa to all his clients as the perfect post-workout recovery food. His Instagram was filled with colorful quinoa salads and inspirational health quotes. But Michael started noticing subtle changes that he initially attributed to getting older and working too hard. His energy levels dropped, especially in the afternoons. He needed more coffee to get through his training sessions. His face looked puffy in the mornings, and his wedding ring felt tight. His wife mentioned that he was getting up to use the bathroom more often during the night. When Michael finally went for his annual physical, his doctor noticed elevated creatinine levels and protein in his urine. Further testing revealed that Michael had lost nearly 60% of his kidney function. The nephrologist was baffled. Michael didn't have diabetes, his blood pressure was perfect, and he had no family history of kidney disease. How could someone so healthy have such severe kidney damage? It wasn't until Michael met with a functional medicine doctor who specialized in nutrition-related health issues that the pieces came together. When they calculated Michael's daily oxalate and saponin intake from his quinoa-heavy diet, the numbers were staggering. He was consuming nearly 10 times the amount that kidneys can safely process long-term. The transformation began immediately. Michael eliminated quinoa completely and replaced it with kidney-friendly alternatives. He focused on gentle detoxification, proper hydration, and giving his kidneys time to heal. Within 6 months, his energy returned, the morning puffiness disappeared, and his sleep improved dramatically. While his kidney function couldn't be fully restored, the progression of damage stopped completely, and he was able to avoid dialysis. Michael now uses his platform to educate others about the hidden dangers of seemingly healthy foods. He's learned that true health isn't about following trends or eating supposed superfoods, but about understanding how your individual body responds to different foods and making choices that support your long-term well-being, rather than just following the latest nutritional fad. The story of quinoa and kidney damage reveals a deeper truth about our modern approach to nutrition. We've become so focused on superfoods and quick fixes that we've lost sight of the fundamental principle that has guided human nutrition for thousands of years: moderation and variety. Your kidneys evolved to handle the diverse, moderate diet of our ancestors, not the concentrated doses of specific compounds found in our modern superfood obsession. The power to protect your kidneys is in your hands right now. Every meal is an opportunity to either support your kidney health or continue the slow process of damage. The choice seems obvious when you understand the science, but I know it's not easy to change deeply ingrained habits, especially when those habits were formed with the best intentions. Your kidneys are silently working to keep you alive right now, filtering toxins, balancing your body chemistry, and maintaining the delicate conditions necessary for life. They deserve your protection and respect. They deserve better than being overwhelmed by compounds they were never designed to process in large quantities. Start today. Look in your pantry and honestly assess how much quinoa you're consuming. Read labels on processed health foods and protein powders. Begin the transition to truly kidney-friendly alternatives. Your future self will thank you for making this change before it's too late. Remember, true health isn't about following the latest superfood trend or eating what influencers tell you is healthy. It's about understanding your body's needs and making informed choices that support your long-term well-being. Your kidneys are counting on you to make the right choice. Don't let them down. If this information has opened your eyes to the hidden dangers in your diet, share this knowledge with someone you care about. Comment below and let me know what changes you're going to make starting today. And if you want to stay informed about the real science behind nutrition, not just the marketing hype, make sure to subscribe for more eye-opening health revelations. Your kidneys will thank you, and so will the people you share this life-saving information with. Because sometimes the most dangerous foods are the ones we never suspect.